Let's chat to Carl Froch, former WBC super middleweight champion. Hello, Carl.
Hi.
What was your verdict on the fight?
Well, let's talk about David Haye. He was very composed. He was cool. He was eyeing up his man, and he wasn't doing anything too risky because obviously he didn't want to walk into Audley's. Audley does have a punch. He's got a left cross counter punch, and it's not a bad one, as he's proven in the amateurs. He won a gold medal. So David was being a little bit cagey, probably a tiny bit overcautious. But when you hear that he got loads of money on round 3, who knows? I mean, if he was waiting for round 3 so he could clean up at the bookies, then that's another story. But that was obviously revealed in the interview afterwards. But he waited his time, and then in round 3 he stuck it on Audley, threw a couple of big heavy shots, knocked Audley down. Audley got up, and then David just jumped on him and just punched him to a standstill, really. But there was nothing coming back. So great performance from David Haye. He did what he had to do, did what he said he was going to do, and defended his title in style. So, big applaud to David Haye.
What do you think about the morals of a boxer saying, well, I could have ended it earlier, but I didn't because I had a few quid on myself and so did my family?
Well, at the end of the day, it's not match fixing. It's match fixing if you say, I've had a big load of money on the fight, and then you're going to take a dive in one round. You can't predict which round you're going to beat somebody. I've tried it for my whole career. I've done it a couple of times, round 5 here and around 6 there, but it can actually be your undoing. If you say, right, I'm going to do someone in round 3, I'm going to win in round 3, and then you go in round 3 trying to knock somebody out, in boxing, that's dangerous. You can have a swing up and end up walking into a shot or rush something, and all good boxers will tell you, when you look for the knockout, it doesn't come. So I don't disagree with what David Haye did there at all. I mean, it might have just been a bit of a publicity stunt after the fight, so who knows. But I've got nothing against that. If a fighter's that good, he can hold somebody up for a couple of rounds and then finish him when he says he can. Prince Nassim Hamid used to do it. Muhammad Ali used to predict rounds. I've got nothing against that. So that's to answer that question.
And you're also saying as well, Carl, that if in, say, round 2 or even the first round, if David Haye had seen an opening, he would have taken it and he would have actually knocked out Audley Harrison at that stage? I
think so, definitely, because I've told my brothers in the past, let's put someone round 5, because I don't gamble myself, but my brother gambles, and I said, put someone round 5 and I'll have a go in round 5. And I knocked Damien Hague out in round 1 and they all had money on round 5, and I knocked Ruben Groenewald out in one of the rounds, which was 2 rounds too early. When you're a fighter, if David Haye would have seen the opportunity last night, if Audley would have threw a left cross and fell short, trust me, David Haye would have jumped on him and hit him with a big counter punch, following up with a big combination. There's no way he held him up. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, Carl. Let's get here. I understand you're talking about the likes of Muhammad Ali used to predict the round and everything, but it gets very dangerous when the fighter himself is the promoter. And also, that was in an age before we had the phenomenon of internet spread betting, before there was pay-per-view TV in everybody's home. I mean, there are sort of huge financial ramifications for what he's doing now, which would suggest that boxing needs to do something about it.
Oh, you're talking about the gambling side?
Yeah, I think if you've got fighters who are promoters predicting the round that they're going to knock a fighter in and then boasting about it and backing themselves, it starts to get very murky.
I didn't see anywhere though that round 3 prediction, because I missed the trick myself there because it was 20 to 1. So it's not like he made public news of it and said, right, round 3, stick your money on, because he didn't. I mean, he's saying it after, and that's why I'm saying it may be a bit of publicity. Maybe he told his brother or his dad, but other than that, I can assure you, he did have a go in round 3, but I don't think we should focus on the gambling side of it and on what's what, because to predict when you knock somebody out, especially when they're 3 stone heavier and a few inches taller than you, it's really, really hard to do. And it's not like he took a dive and went down and got the result that he said it back. So I think it's a pointless argument, to be honest. You might disagree, but I think it's one for another time.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Can you tell us what you think about Harrison? I mean, why did he decide not to throw any punches?
Well, my first answer to that is absolutely frightened to death, scared to death. That's the only way. He's done it before in fights against smaller men and men that really got poor records. If somebody was coming over from America with Audley Harrison's record, an American that you'd not heard of, and he said, right, let's have a look at his record, and he had Audley Harrison's record, we'd have all been saying, why is this fight even happening? This is a mismatch. He's lost to him. Oh, he got beat by him. He was in a 10-rounder with him, and he just won. And, you'd be saying this is a mismatch for David Haye. David Haye's going to absolutely wipe the floor with him. But because it was Audley Harrison, this became a big fight, almost a pantomime type fight that captured the imagination of everybody. I hit the red button last night and purchased a fight for £14.95, you know, and I had a big crowd at home, so I got drawn in as well. And I knew what was going to happen. But Audley Harrison has just totally writ himself off again, but he's finished. He needs to get a one-way ticket to Australia and not come back, because he can't show his face. After all the talk and the hype and the salesman tactics on the build-up to the fight, he just got in there and, I don't know, in a word, he disgraced himself, because it was absolutely appalling. And I think anybody in the boxing fraternity who understands the game will agree with me.
Couple of final questions. Do you think David Haye can remain unbeaten as a heavyweight boxer?
The more fights David Haye has, the more confident he gets. He looks to be big. I know he's not heavy because he's still only around the 15 stone mark, but he's growing in confidence. His punching power's phenomenal. And who's out there? Now, the answer to that question is the Klitschko's. Klitschko's are getting older. You know, they're getting the desires going from them. David Haye, I mean, I think David Haye beats Vladimir Klitschko anyway. I've never rated Vladimir too highly. He's a big, strong, tall, quality boxer. But Vitali's the one for me. But after seeing Vitali last week against Shannon Briggs, that fight's possible. David Haye can win that fight.
Lastly, you're going to fight again at the end of the month. How are preparations going? You're off to, is it Finland you're off to?
That's right, 27th of November, Helsinki, Finland, and it can be viewed on primetime TV for those of you who have got it, or on the Virgin on demand. This is a big, big fight for a WBC world title that, as far as I'm concerned, shouldn't have been taken off me. It was took off me in Herning in Denmark when I boxed Mikkel Kessler in a 12-round epic battle. Everybody loved that fight. It's been dubbed as Fight of the Year. And now I've got a chance of getting my belt back against, Arthur Abraham. And he's a big, tough, strong, quality opponent. This is going to be a live fight, a really, really live fight. And it's a fight I'm looking forward to, and an opportunity for me to get my belt back. So, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to do the business.
Hope it goes well. What round are you going to win in?
Oh dear, let's have a look. Got to be careful what I say. You seem to be gunning for them one.
Carl, thanks ever so much. I hope it goes well at the end of the month. I'm sure you will, and we'll chat maybe at the end of the month.
Really appreciate that. It's always a pleasure.
Take care.
Will do. Bye-bye.
Bye.
One thing you can say about Carl, though, in terms of pay-per-view, this is a man who offers immense value for money.
Yeah.
Always gives everything in every fight.
Now,